So we started configuring three-tier architecture RoboShop application, and yesterday we have done web interface, catalog, and then MongoDB, and we configured the connections properly between those three tiers. Okay, so as I said yesterday, a small recap. DB is a stateful application. It holds some data that is crucial. Okay, and remaining API tier, web tier, they are called as stateless applications because state is not important in them. It means data is not important of those applications. So that data of database is only important. Okay. And so yeah, web tier and API tier developers, they use some programming languages to develop. We should compile, we should build and package it, and then push it to some location. .zip, .jar files, all these files we have to push it to some location like Nexus S3. So this anyhow we will do it as part of our upcoming session CI/CD. And while deploying, you will fetch the package and deploy. So what is the deployment process is generally, first we will create the server, Linux server. We will install that particular programming language, because if you are developing Node.js application, you have to install Node.js language to run it. Okay, so that's what we are doing. And then you have to fetch the package. Which package? Whatever developed, build and compile it. So that package you have to fetch it and install the dependencies. So every programming language has some dependencies. Those we call them as libraries as well. So we need to install them as part of our deployment process. And then we are creating a systemctl service and doing some configuration like connections between databases. This is the simple application. So when you want to change generally, so that we already discussed in our earlier sessions, release another version. So when you want to release another version, so what we have to do, this is a simple process again. Stop the server and then delete the old package. Place the new package and restart the server. So this is the releasing of another version we will discuss as part of our release management. Okay. So, and then yesterday I said DB tier or some heavy applications, you can use T3.micro for them, and app tier you can use T2.micro. Yeah, we created a MongoDB and then systemd service. The systemd service yesterday I said, if you want to manage the packages as a system with systemctl command, you need to create this service in etc systemd and system directory. So there we are giving something like this. So what is the command when you run? So this is the command when you run systemctl start MongoDB. Okay, or systemctl start catalog. That's it. So why we are using systemctl service? Because so these services can be enabled at the time of Linux start. Okay, when Linux server is getting started, it will go and check the services in systemd directory and it will start them automatically. You no need to log in and then do that automatically. Okay, so let us configure once again. Yesterday the three applications. So I am creating four instances. Let it be 5. Without key pair. Selecting T3.micro. And all security group. Yeah, that's it. First, I'll take one instance. I'm copying, renaming it as web. Take the public IP. Okay, so first we need to install Nginx. Okay, it is installed. Now you need to enable it so that when you stop and start, it will automatically run. And then start the Nginx service. And let us check whether we are able to open. So if you are not able to open, so we have already discussed some troubleshooting steps. netstat-lntp. So what it should do, this should open port number 80. How can you make sure the Nginx is running? netstat-lntp. So it is saying port number 80 is open. So it is running by Nginx. And the second step, ps-ef grep Nginx. Okay. ps-ef grep Nginx. Not only for Nginx, everywhere the troubleshooting steps are like this. Okay. Third, you can check the logs. So Nginx logs are var log /var/log/Nginx. Okay, here. So there will be access log tail-f access log. So you are getting something 200. This is good. I mean, your application is able to write the logs. And then systemctl status Nginx. In fact, this is the first command you should run. Okay, this is running. Systemctl status Nginx. Okay, and finally, security group. Sometimes we forget to allow port number 80. So here we are allowing all, but at least you should allow port number 80 here. Okay. And finally, check security groups. So these are the troubleshooting steps for any component here. Okay. So this is running. And now let us remove the default content. And then let's download our content. So unzip it. So we'll do this reverse proxy. Now restart. Yeah, so we are getting our application. Now we need to configure MongoDB and catalog because we want to see the products in the website. Okay. So MongoDB is where the products are stored, like product ID, product description, product name, how many are in the stack, price, everything is stored inside MongoDB. Now catalog is a microservice running on Node.js. So what this programming language responsibility is always data is somewhere in database. It can be SQL database, NoSQL database, Excel sheets, files, log files, whatever. Data is nothing but you should understand data is nothing but anything which has something is called data. For example, SQL databases like tables and columns. NoSQL databases generally like JSON files or JS files. Okay. So I already told you to see the difference between SQL and NoSQL. If you have done a simple Google search, so this is one. Rows and columns. Okay. NoSQL is nothing but generally JSON or JavaScript. Okay. And then we have like Excel sheet. This is also a data. Row and columns, but no relation between tables. So you need to go too much deep and then understand. Just a simple search in YouTube, they will give you clear understanding of what is the basic difference. Okay, files. So this is also data. So generally everybody misunderstand only the RDBMS is the data, MongoDB is the data. Data can be anything. It can be a single file, single folder, everything is a data. Okay. So that is why. So we have a database here in MongoDB, product catalog we are storing inside MongoDB. So we need to fetch the information. Generally, we don't have any software knowledge, okay? Or at least someone who is using this RoboShop, they don't have any software knowledge. They cannot go and query the data. So on behalf of us, our microservices are fetching the data from MongoDB. So our microservices like backend programming languages, what they always do is they will perform CRUD on the database. When someone create new product, they will insert. Okay, created by programming languages. And if you want to read, if you want to see products, they will run select queries. Okay. If you want to delete product, the programming languages, they will run delete queries. If you want to update, they will run update query. So that's it. So programming languages are performing some SQL or whatever the operations to fetch the data. Okay. So this is written in Node.js. Now we need to install MongoDB and then we need to connect between catalog and MongoDB. Okay, the same thing I'm doing for the third time actually. Name another instance as MongoDB. I'm renaming this tab as MongoDB. Ring password. Okay, just running the commands one by one. First, creating the MongoDB repo. And here you need to give. So this, how can you find this documentation? You can find inside the MongoDB documentation itself. How to install MongoDB, then you can find the documentation there. Okay. So you no need to worry about the installation part because whenever you are into the project, So there will be some document called SOP, Standard Operating Procedure. Okay, how to install the package, how to install MariaDB, how to install MySQL. You don't need to you don't need to break your head for too much. You need to find the documentation. So this is the major part. Nobody will ask you to do the installation in 1 hour or 2 hours. Whenever you are doing for the first time for a new project, you will get a lot of time to understand, to calculate multiple things, to understand the compatibility between multiple versions. So you'll get a lot of time for installing the products. Okay, it's not like just you have to do it in 1 hour like we are doing now. Okay, so what I'm saying is we need to install the application. Okay, that is somehow you can do it anyhow. This is one of the process. Okay, we are following. So just understand, we need to install, that can be done easily. We will get the clear documentation, clear instructions. Okay, and you will spend some time, you'll understand, and you will do it. So now let us install. Either you install through M or you install manually, doesn't matter. And in interviews, no need to worry. Nobody will ask you how to install MongoDB, how to install MySQL. Nobody will ask. Okay, but when you are into DevOps project or when you are into any project, all the softwares are already running, they're already installed. You need to just understand how to use them. So don't worry about installations for now. Just follow the documentation. In our upcoming sessions, you will clearly understand. Okay, and let us enable and let us start. So that's it. You install a package through either M or anyhow, just you need to enable and then start it. So we enable and then we started it. So as I said, databases, usually they accept the connections from the local server, but it is our responsibility to go and then change it. No need to worry. We will restrict this from the firewall in our upcoming sessions. We'll keep it secure. And then restart. So our MongoDB installation is done. And then later catalog. Let me rename this as catalog. DevOps 321. So installing Node.js. So this is the script. We got it from the Node.js itself. Okay. So there are many ways to install, but this is one of the way. Node.js is installed. Now we are adding one RoboShop. This is like system user. Instead of a human, we created a separate user for our application itself. And main directory. So we are creating a dedicated directory to keep our applications. Okay. And unzipping. So as I said, every application have dependencies. Node.js also have dependencies in package.json. Okay, so it has its own command npm install. You should run it in the directory /app. So when you run npm install, it will read this package.json and then it will fetch the dependencies from internet. Okay. So after installing dependencies, creating the service. So this is where we have. So if you want to connect catalog and then MongoDB, you need to give MongoDB IP address here. So we are using private IP address. Oh shit, sorry, I did it in. Oh shit. There is the mistake we do. So I install it there. Rename catalog. I'm sure you are also doing these kind of mistakes. Yeah, but it's fine. Should have sudo access and install Node.js. Install Node.js. And then create an application user. Create a directory. Download our catalog zip to temp directory. Move to app folder. Here you unzip and then run the dependencies. Create a service. So here, since our catalog is dependent on MongoDB, we need to give our MongoDB IP address here. So there should be no extra spaces, no special characters, nothing. It should be just exactly like this. If you give some spaces and special characters, you will get an error. Okay. And whenever you change something in systemd directory, you should always do systemctl daemon reload and enable catalog, start catalog. So for the first time your application is getting started, you need to load some products. Okay. So later you will get, as I said in yesterday's session, you will get some admin website. So they will be loading, support team will be loading from the into the database through another website. Okay. Right now we don't have any other support team. So that is why we are doing it through the commands. So as I said, so MongoDB is the server and we are installing MongoDB client in our catalog instance. We are connecting client and server, and then we are inserting some data. Okay. So if you want to install MongoDB client, so you need to give MongoDB repo. And install Mongo or shell. This is the client package. MongoDB org is the server package. So client package is always very small. And this is the command. So we are connecting to MongoDB using Mongo and giving host and run it. So MongoDB and catalog is done. They both are connected. How they are connected? Inside catalog. So we have given MongoDB URL inside the service. Okay. So now we need to connect web and catalog. So for that, inside web, so we have a reverse proxy configuration. So etc nginx. So here there is a directory cd default.t. So why we are keeping it here? We want to just separate the application configuration from the default one. Why we are keeping separate files? Because it's a separate configuration we are doing other than default configuration. vim roboshop.conf. So this is very simple. You are just informing nginx to route the request based on the URL pattern. So /API/catalog. So redirect the request to catalog IP address. Okay. All our Node.js applications are running on port number 8080. Okay, so when you do some configuration changes here, just give systemctl restart engines. So this is how we connected. Now let us go and refresh. You can see our request is coming to the web, and from here you can see here the inspect. Go to network tab. So there is a request API/catalog/categories. Okay. So this request is going to the nginx. So when this request go, we already configured. It should send the request to. 1 second. Yeah, so we already configured. It should send the request to the catalog. So that is why it is sending the request to here. When catalog is receiving the request, programmers develop the code something. It should fetch the details from MongoDB. Okay, so that is the configuration we have done it. Okay. Yeah, so you are able to see then the connections are working. So let us proceed with the next. So that is user actually. So user is dependent on Redis and cart is also dependent on Redis. So before doing this, we need to prepare our databases. So otherwise our applications cannot work without databases. Okay. So let us understand what is Redis. So Redis is a popular cache server. So what is cache in general meaning? So yesterday also we discussed ISPs, they will have cache servers. So what is cache here? So this is our application, for example, like user application. Okay. And this is our database, for example, MongoDB. So always these users should query the MongoDB database for the data. Querying the database is an expensive operation. Expensive operation in the sense, first it should connect. It should connect to DB. and then it should get data. And it should close connection. Whenever its work is over, it will close the connection. So this is the operations actually happening, but connecting to the database, getting the data, again closing the connection always takes some time. So that's why the latency will be increased. So for that purpose, what we have is cache. So this is a key value pair. We call it as in-memory and key value pair database. Okay, so this is super speed. How we know super speed? Because of its data structures, because of its implementation. We no need to worry how they are implemented to get super speed. Okay, so what applications will do is whenever it get the request for the first time, it will fetch the data, and this application will keep it inside cache. Okay, and from here, so this will get the data. So this is the first step. First time user is requesting, then it will get the data from the database, and then it will push it to the cache server. Okay. Second time, the users are requesting the same kind of data. Instead of connecting to the databases, the application will directly fetch from cache. So this is how any cache will work. Okay, not only Redis, anything. So while I was telling forward proxy and reverse proxy, so there is home one. So they are requesting a movie like Bahubali to download. The request will go through ISP. Okay, so that is somewhere in cloud, I mean in internet. So ISP will fetch the file from internet. ISP will connect to internet. So your home first, it will send a request to ISP. I want that Bahubali. So then it will fetch and then it will give it to us. Okay. So similarly, home to also selecting same movie, but again going to US and fetching the file and then sending it to home to is very expensive operation. What they do is actually they will have something, a cache server. Okay. So whenever the first time file is downloaded, ISP will keep that file inside cache. Okay. So here they will keep it in cache server. And then home 2 is requesting same movie, then they will directly send it from cache server. Now this is very near to us and it is super speed. Time is very less, and then latency is also very less. Data, they can save the data also. Okay. So similarly, in our laptops also we have something called RAM. Okay. So our OS, so this is our OS. You are requesting some file. So it is somewhere in hard disk. But why we have RAM in between? Because RAM is a key value pair of database. Instead of getting every time from the hard disk, because getting the from hard disk is very difficult because it has some magnetic storage, searching the location where inside that magnetic things, that is very difficult. So that's why what OS will do is generally, sorry, this is user. So what OS will do here is first time they will get the data from hard disk. Okay, first time they will get the data from hard disk, and then they will keep it inside RAM, and they will fetch again from RAM to the user. Okay. So directly OS cannot get directly, OS cannot give you the data directly from hard disk to user. They always keep it inside RAM and then they will give it to the user. So there is always a third kind of application that is nothing but cache server. So it's a universal concept, not only for databases, anywhere. So that is why we have also here a cache. So why we are implementing cache? Because in enterprise organizations, we all work with cache servers also. So everybody, every day you are listening to the word cache. So that is why this RoboShop project, so they have created a database called Redis as well. Okay, so this application is an ideal application. Okay, if you see, we are working with a lot of programming languages, Node.js, Java, Python, Go language. We are working with many languages in this project. Okay, it doesn't mean you will work with all languages in our as a DevOps engineer. Okay, you may be working on maximum 1 or 2 programming languages. You will be placed into Java projects, or you will be placed into .NET projects. So no project will use all languages. They will select maximum 1 or 2 programming languages, but we should understand how to work with all programming languages. You no need to become a developer. You just understand what is the build tool, what is the command to install the dependencies. That's it. Nothing much. Okay. So now we have our Redis. We need to install Redis cache server also. Okay. So as I said, it is in-memory database, generally just like RAM. So instead of connecting to the databases over API, so applications directly can query the cache. If it is not available there, then it will go and fetch from the database. So that is the use. So now let me give one thing as Redis. Redis. Okay. Just take root access. So it is saying Redis is offering the repo file as RPM. So what is RPM actually? You see, if you see, I just copied the sentences. When you are installing the MongoDB, RPM is nothing but Red Hat Package Manager. Then what is yum? Yum is also package manager. But what is the difference between RPM and yum is, so all packages are RPMs. Okay, so when you install Nginx, it will install a lot of dependencies. For example, so let me install another package like Git, yum install Git. See how it is doing. It is getting 4 things. So these are all like RPMs. So these are all called RPMs. Every package in Red Hat is RPM. But what is the advantage of yum? So yum, what it does is it will automatically resolve the dependencies. So this is the advantage of yum, and it will fetch all the dependencies and install before installing the requested package. Okay. So you can, if you know the dependencies, you can install manually through RPM packages. Okay, just like this. Yum install, and they are giving one RPM file directly, and you can use this. Okay, you can see there is an RPM file downloaded. You can directly install that single package. If you don't know dependencies, you will go through yum. So now let us see what is happening with this Redis. So when you do this, it would have created a repo here. You can see remi.repo, remisafe.repo, something it is created. Remi modular.repo, it created 3 repos. So you can do, so now if you want to do it manually, you have to give VIM and then Remi modular repo, and inside you need to give the content. So instead of that, they are packaging it everything as a single RPM. And when you install, they will do everything here. You can see everything is taken care by them. So what is the difference here? Create dot repos manually. This is one of the approach. Okay. Or else Redis is giving very flexibility. They gave one RPM file. If you install, your repos will be created automatically. Okay. That's it. That is this command. So we got that anyhow. So, and when you do this, you got, let us see, yum module list. So list. Just pressing Wi-Fi. Now you can see there are a lot of versions. 5.0, 6.0, 6.2, 7.0, 7.2. So which version to install? So that is why. So we are particularly in, sorry, one second. So we are particularly enabling a particular version 6.2. So that is why we are giving yum module enable Remi 6.2. So in MongoDB, we did something different. So what is that MongoDB here is? So you are giving a particular version here inside your base URL. So this is, we created manually the repo, but Redis, we have a lot of versions. Okay. For example, if you want to upgrade, from 6.2 to 6.3, what you have to do again, if you follow this MongoDB approach, you need to create another repository like this. Okay, another repository like this, Redis, and then you have to give it here 6.3. Again, you need to change it somewhere here 6.3, and you need to do that. But instead of that, Redis is giving you multiple versions. It is, you can enable any version you want. So that is why we install those repos automatically, and you are selecting which version you want. If your developer asks you to install 7.0, you will just enable 7.0. If your developer asks 5.0, you just enable 5.0. Because this is the latest feature from CentOS 8 operating systems. Okay, so earlier what we were doing, we were going and then configuring the base URL like this manually for each and every new version, and we are installing. Now there is no need to do like that. You can directly create the repos, and then here you can enable. The difference is, if you want something explanation, so this is MongoDB, or for example, Redis 5 repo, and this is Redis 6 repo, and this is Redis 7. Okay, we always upgrade the versions generally. So whenever you want first your Linux server is configuring with this, and if you want to upgrade, you will again configure with this. If you want to still upgrade, you can again configure like this. So instead of referring the repositories multiple times, so what Redis did is they created the entire single repo. So this is a big repo, and here we have already all 5.0, 6.0, 7.0. In future, if you get 8.0 also, so they will keep it a single repo. Your Linux server always refer to it. Okay. Whenever you want a particular version, you just run this command. M module enable. Okay, now we are enabling 6.2 version. Okay, we are enabling, we enabled it and then you install it. Now, if you install, you will get 6.2 version. Okay, so you don't need to think about installations too much, just proceed. Okay, you will slowly understand by practice. And inside Redis configuration, generally for the databases, as said, it will have something 127.bind. So here you need to give 0.0.0. Okay. That's it. Enable Redis and then start Redis. Okay, so this is Redis, and let's go and configure our user component. Okay, the same Node.js approach. Let me take another user. The same approach as like catalog. DevOps 321. Renaming it as Redis. Sorry, user. So first thing, install this setup script and Node.js installation. See, it is in background enabling some Node.js. Creating user, the same process, just like your catalog. And then creating a directory and downloading our user, moving to that directory and unzipping it. And install the dependencies. Creating user service. So here we have dependency on Redis and MongoDB. So for that, you need to give our Redis IP address. And then Redis MongoDB IP address also. So once you create it, you need to do systemctl daemon reload. And after that, you can enable and you can start. So, but for the first time installation, we always should need some default users. So if you go inside schema, our developers gave us some default user information. Okay, some default users just to start the application. It is creating 3 users: username, password, and their email address. That's it. So to load it inside the Mongo, we always need the Mongo shell here. That is why we are again creating MongoD repo and keeping our repo information, and then installing this. And you are loading it user.js into the MongoDB server. Okay, this is loaded properly. 3 objects inserted. So now finally, you need to do the reverse proxy configuration in RoboShop. And here in the user, you need to give our user IP address. So while doing the changes, just make sure you are doing user IP address with /user. Sometimes we will, by mistake, you will give user IP address here, then your application will not run. So you need to find out. Okay, so when that changed, restarting the Nginx. So now this is done. Let us go and restart, and let us be able to log in or register, because user module is for the login and registration. Okay. Join devops.com, password. So it is working. So you are able to get the register and you are able to log in. Here it means logged in. This is about the user module. So what we did, first we install Redis and then we install user. We connected these two. We loaded some data, and finally inside web roboshop.conf, you gave the user IP address in the reverse proxy configuration. Okay, so that's it. In similar way, we have cart also, same Node.js application. Let's create another instance for cart. Let's try this. 3.micro, no key pair, allow all launch steps. DevOps 3 to 1. So this is also the same procedure. Just installing Node.js. Creating directory, downloading the code, unzipping it, and then installing the dependencies, creating the service, and giving the dependency URLs, okay, dependency IP address. Installing Node.js. Creating the app directory, downloading our cart package. Sorry. And moving to that directory, installing the dependencies. Okay, first unzip and install the dependencies. Service here we need to give our, it is clearly dependent on Redis, so we need to give Redis URL, nothing but our IP address. And catalog. Okay, now systemctl daemon reload, and then enable, start it. Okay. So this is done, cart, and then configuring Redis and other dependencies done. Now you need to come here and then again change the proxy configuration, get the IP address of cart, and at this location you need to provide this. When something is changed, restart. Now let's go and then try to add, okay, let us log in. We're logged in. So let us browse some product, add to cart, it should work. Okay, cart is getting added. Now check out, and you need to select your country and location for the shipping. Generally, while doing the shopping, you will give the country, city, address, line 1, line 2, pin code. Okay, but here it is simple. Just select your country and location. So yeah, so we can discuss few questions here, and then we will proceed configuring that shipping information. Srinu Katuri.
Nothing, sir. By mistake, hand raised.
Yeah, it's okay. Rajashekar Reddy.
Hi, Shiva. Good morning.
Yeah, hi. Hi, good morning.
Yeah, how many days it will take to complete this manual thing, Shiva?
So shall I complete today?
Basically, we want to know the concepts of AWS, and basically it's a urgency.
So you cannot learn anything in urgency.
Yeah, basically we want to know the concepts, right? Basically we are depending everything on this project now.
Yeah, that's why I'm just first, without understanding manually, you cannot automate. You can automate, but you will never understand what is happening in the background. Okay, always spend some time, no need of urgency. Just spend some time and just think what is happening with the application. Okay, later we can always go for AWS and learn the concept. AWS is the infrastructure, not the application part.
Yes.
So already we are doing in AWS, we are creating instances. So once we complete this, then we'll improvise this application. We will have Route 53 instead of this IP addresses. Yeah.
Okay. Thank you.
Yeah. Raveen Kottapalli.
Yeah, hi Shiva, good morning.
Yeah, hi, good morning.
Shiva, by mistake, we are installing in few files, right, in another servers.
Yeah.
Yesterday I also did 2-3 times. So do we need to remove it compulsory from that servers?
Yeah, remove it, no problem.
So sometimes I'm getting, I don't know how I need to remove that from the thing for each and every I understood that when you're doing today also, I understood that so you're doing in the wrong window, but but I'm unable to tell you that.
I'm
that's
removing.
fine.
I'm removing. That's it.
Okay, from just small commands only we can remove, right?
Yes, that's it.
Yeah. Yesterday I tried to implement end-to-end for this till the list cart item, not cart actually list, right? We have objects inserted, right? The catalog.
Yes.
But I don't know why I'm not getting this. I'm not getting this. What we can say, getting the list items once I enter it.
You should troubleshoot. So yesterday you would have joined our Q&A session.
Yes, I joined actually, but till that time I did not complete it. I'm getting 404 not found categories actually. What was the issue? Any idea? Like,
see, first the request comes to web here. Okay. So tail -f. So let me tail -f and then where log access.log. So for Nginx access.log.
okay.
So when you refresh, automatically a request come here. Sorry, not shipping.
Yes, I tried this actually. I opened this from my side.
So here, so if you will get 404 here. So then immediately where should you check? Generally you will get 404 if it is success, if it is error. So then where should you check? You should go to the catalog and you check here tail -f where log messages. There is no dedicated folder here. So you'll get the request here.
Okay.
So from here, maybe you have done some mistake in giving our dot service file is there, right?
Dot service.
This one, cart.service or catalog.service. So there you should have given your MongoDB IP address properly. And you should not forget to load the data. Have you loaded the data?
Yes, I loaded it actually.
You
I
load the
loaded with
data.
the MongoDB IP only.
Yeah, and then so this is the general troubleshooting steps everyone should understand. And you check here what is you are giving anything wrong inside this. It should have.
I have
It
one
should not
doubt,
have. Yeah.
Shiva. Might be this is affecting because I'm using my office laptop. Is that affecting VPN or something?
Generally, you should not use your office laptop. Okay.
Okay.
But everything is in cloud. If you are able to connect through SSH, that is fine. But we don't know where they will restrict. Use your personal laptop. But these are the troubleshooting steps generally. So you should have given some wrong IP address here. Okay, that is one of the reason. And another reason inside our web, here you forgot to give this one,
Yeah, I
the
given this
proper
as
IP
well.
address. So
I
check
give,
all these
yeah.
things properly one by one. Then you will definitely understand. But obviously you need to spend some time. So that is how you will understand the errors.
Yeah, sure.
Right.
Thank you.
Okay. Yeah. Sri Lakshmi Reddy Tatipatri.
Yes, hi, sir. Good morning.
Yeah, hi, good morning.
Sir, actually, in the MongoDB database, while connecting to catalog to MongoDB, we have installed some client, right? MongoDB client in the catalog.
Yes, yes.
Then in the user to Redis, we did not install any client, right, to connect the database.
Yeah, Redis is not the actual database. So this is a simple cache server.
Okay.
So it's not the actual database. MongoDB and MySQL are the databases. So this is just for a cache. Even cache is also database because it is holding the data.
Oh.
Hmm.
And one more thing. Yesterday, by mistake, I have deleted the configuration file.
Which configuration?
I have tried with cart in that some configuration we will give something na Vim configuration file.
Create again.
I tried to create, but it's not. I have launched the instance again and I did everything from the scratch.
Okay.
But create again, yeah.
So you can, but we cannot explain. We cannot solve here. Okay, just post it in the Slack. And yesterday also you joined Q&A session, but you did not ask this.
After that, I have
Okay,
tried.
yeah, then try once again. I
Okay.
will resolve in Slack. Okay, yeah, Murali.
Hi Shiva. So
Yeah,
I had same question what Ravi had. So probably I should troubleshoot.
yeah, definitely you should troubleshoot. Okay.
Yeah. So I did make sure that the MongoDB service and catalog IP address both, but somehow I did restart the servers also. I couldn't see the data. I should, I think, troubleshoot with log files.
Okay, so let me do some mistake intentionally here. And then just one of the errors. Okay, I cannot say exactly, but how you troubleshoot. HTML restart. This catalog. It's not even okay. We need to reload. Let me reload. Just yeah, all of us, please concentrate here. And this team and reload. So this is done, no errors. Okay, you have given some error. Now let me restart this Nginx also. Okay, let us go and then check here. So you're not able to get the categories. So first what you do here, you will inspect and you'll go to the network, just refresh. Catalog, there is 500 internal server error. So 500 error is nothing but something the error from the server side. So first you should go and then check the logs of Nginx. Okay. You can see you are getting 500 error when you hit this. So your Nginx got the request and it is sending to do the catalog. Here you got the request. Here you got the error. So now we need to check the catalog logs. Tail-f var log messages. So here it is saying error. MongoDB network error. It means you are not able to connect to MongoDB. So the possibility is here, only one possibility we have. So how many places we gave our MongoDB configuration inside catalog? Single place here. You should come and then check here whether the IP address you have given properly or not. So sometimes what we do is we will forget to load the data. So yesterday, maybe some of us forgot to load the data. There is no error at all, but they are getting empty here. So inside the response, they are getting empty. So at that time, you need to also just think about whether you loaded the data or not. Okay, so this is how you should troubleshoot.
Shiva, the Praveen here, same issue.
Yeah.
So if it is a 404 error, this is from client side, right?
Yes, client side. If it is a 404, mostly you have done the wrong here.
Okay, thanks.
Okay. Yeah. So another question we can have. Surendra. Surendra, have some question. Vishwanath.
Yeah, Shiva, we are installing that dependencies in NPM. Yeah, that is also dependencies in Linux servers.
No, this is only application dependencies.
Okay.
Not the OS dependencies.
Okay, fine.
Okay. Yeah, so now let us proceed and then configure the next component. We have done MongoDB, Redis, and these 5. The next thing we need to take care of the shipping. So shipping is always dependent on MySQL, because inside MySQL we have the countries and the location information, and then this shipping will query that MySQL database and it will fetch the country and city to the user. So first thing we should install MySQL. Okay, launch instance. MySQL. DevOps practice. T3.micro. Proceed with the keypad. Select all and launch instance. Okay, now let us refer our documentation, MySQL. So here I just got the reverse approach just to make you understand. So earlier while installing Redis, so what we did, we created repos through yum install rpm, and we particularly enabled enabled a particular enabled a version. Okay, so this is what we did. So in MySQL, okay, so let us install. Let me connect. MySQL. So if you try to install yum install MySQL, so what is the version it is giving? Let's check for this. Little bit slow. So if you see, the version is MySQL 8 version. Okay. But our developer is asking MySQL 5.7. Just to make you understand how to enable and disable the modules, I'm doing this. Okay. So our developers, they are working on MySQL 5.7, but CentOS 8 by default, it is giving MySQL 8. So what we do is we will disable first. We will disable the default package given by our CentOS 8 OS, and then we will manually configure our repo. Okay, just doing opposite. Now you can see we manually configured MySQL 5.7. Now if you install, since you disabled the previous one, now this will go and install the MySQL server. From the repo we created this one. Okay, now you can see it is getting the repo from MySQL. So this is the community server, but in companies we will use enterprise server, that is not free, but both are same. Just you will get extra support from if you use enterprise support. So just take this as a task. I'll note down here. What is yum enable and disable modules? Very simple. We already discussed. If you don't want a particular version, you can disable. That's it. Okay. So we are enabling MySQL and then starting it. Okay. So by default, it will not have any password when you are installing and starting. So that is why we need to set the password, set the root password. Username is by default root, but password we are setting it. You can just test here whether it is installed properly or not. That's it. Come out of it, exit. Okay. MySQL installation is very simple. Just disable the existing module, or else if you use 8 also, it's not, it is fine. Just I want to show you how to disable. That's why I just made it here. install the community server, start it, set up the root password. Username is by default root. Okay. Yeah, so this is MySQL, and then finally we will see the shipping. So shipping is responsible to query the country information and location information from MySQL, and it will show it to the user. So this is developed in Java language. Okay, so if it is developed in Java, we need to install Java, but it has something called Maven. You know NPM. NPM is a build tool for Node.js. Similarly, Maven is build tool for Java applications. Okay, if you install Maven, it will automatically install Java. Okay, so let me create another instance for shipping. DevOps practice. E3.micro. No key pair and all launch instance. Renaming it as shipping. The same steps: install the programming language, download the code, unzip it, and then install the dependencies, create the service, and run it. The same steps, any programming language. But here I'm installing this one. This will go and automatically install Java. So we have today, tomorrow, and day after tomorrow time. So all of you guys, you can spend more time on this and then complete the project setup. In our next session, we will discuss the disadvantages of this manual approach. Then we will improve our application. You can see it is installing Java. Okay, just use add RoboShop and then created a separate directory for our application and then download it. Go to our directory and unzip it. Okay. And then Maven clean package. So this is the command. So generally npm install is the command to dependencies to download dependency resolution. Okay. But here Maven clean package, what it does is it will install dependencies and create .jar file. Okay, so .jar is the extension of Java archive file. Okay, so this is the command maven clean package. We will discuss about maven anyhow in our sessions. So generally Java language is little bit heavy than any other programming languages like Node.js and Python. These are lightweight programming languages, but Java is little bit heavy. So mostly enterprise companies, they use Java. Just recently they started some Python, all those things, but earlier completely we were on Java. So whenever you do that, you will have a directory called cd target, and here you got shipping jar. Just one step back again into the app folder and then run the next command. I'm just keeping that jar. You're just moving the jar from target directory to the current app directory. That's it. And now create service. So since it is dependent on MySQL server IP address, I'm keeping it here. Oh, sorry. So this is the MySQL. Username and password are already inside the code. Okay. And after that, run systemctl daemon reload. So now we need to load the data also. Just like you loaded the data into the MongoDB, the user and product data, you need to load the data of the country information as well. Okay. If you open this shipping.sql, the inside schema, so there is shipping SQL. You can see. So this is all the cities information and table information worldwide. This is very huge data just coming out of it. You can even find your hometown in this. Sometimes it will crash. Don't try to open, okay, because it's a huge, it may crash. I mean, it will still stuck, not crash, it will stuck actually. 167. Yeah, shipping. Sudo su-cd app. So here you need to load it to the MySQL. Before loading, let us install MySQL command line also. So this is MySQL client software. MySQL community server is the server software. MySQL is the client software. The client software can be any version, no problem. And this is the command. So the same username and password we already set. So it means we are connecting to MySQL server. You are giving the host IP address, username and password, and you are loading the shipping.sql. So that has the country and the city information. Now let us change it inside our the shipping information, you need to change it here. Okay, so this is done. Let us restart. Now let's go and refresh. We did some mistake, right? We need to clear that mistake as well. So inside catalog service, we need to do restart. Okay. Daemon reload and restart. And restart our Nginx also. Let us come here and then okay, still not able to get the categories. Inspect. Now it is time to troubleshoot. 500 error. So it's going to catalog. Let us check the logs. Still Mongo network error. Okay, I think now it is working. There is no error now. Still an error, Mongo network error. Just open catalog. Is this MongoDB correct? Yeah, it is correct. And let us daemon reload and then restart. Now check the logs. Should be something around MongoDB connected. Still Mongo network error. Anything wrong in the IP address? 172. Anything wrong I'm doing? Mongo network error. Okay, let me stop this systemctl stop catalog. Let me check the documentation. MongoDB. First, let us check what MongoDB itself is running or not. restart. MongoDB is not running. $228. And let me connect to this instance again. Okay, there is something wrong with MongoDB because generally database applications are heavy. Sometimes T3.micro is not enough for them. And let me restart this. Yeah, so T3.micro sometimes is not enough. We'll face errors like this. And let me reboot, but yeah. Now let us try to connect this. No, this is not enough for the type. It's not able to start. You can see the CPU percentage is getting increased. From last 1 hour, the CPU percentage is getting increased. Okay, so while you are practicing, just take some bigger instance like T3 medium, something like that. Clearly memory problem. So yeah, so if you guys are able to complete this through the documentation, you just proceed. So obviously this will get success in the shipping. Then you can open this and then you can go to the still shipping. Okay. If you are even interested, you can complete the remaining 2 modules also because you got time this week. Anyhow, we will discuss again from shipping, RabbitMQ and payment. And we have one more dispatch also in our upcoming session. Then in the same session, we will discuss the disadvantages of this manual approach. Then we will automate this entire process. Okay. Yeah. So yes, any questions, Vishwanath?
Siva, is there any chance to increase CPU or memory on that server?
You can
MongoDB?
change the instance type now, but it will take some time anyhow.
Okay.
So to change the instance type, what you have to do is you have to stop the instance first,
Okay.
and then there will be instance settings. Stop. Yeah, there will be something, change instance type. Yeah, this will be activated once it is stopped completely. This will also take time because there may be something crashed because of less memory. So once it is stopped, actually, here you can go and take the instance settings. There will be change instance type. Just upgrade to something like the T3 dot medium or T3 dot small. T3. So we are using micro. You can go for T3 dot small. It has more RAM. Okay. So anyhow, we will continue this in upcoming session. We have the documentation already are available. If you are come to this shipping, then just try. This will definitely work. And then proceed. If you still have time, proceed RabbitMQ and payment. We still have clear-cut documentation here. You just proceed RabbitMQ and payment. So we'll discuss again shipping, RabbitMQ payment in upcoming session. Okay. Yeah. So we'll take one or two questions now. Hemant Kumar.
Hi, Shiva.
Yeah,
I would
hi.
like to get some info about reverse proxy, how it works. Yesterday you were explaining about when you are trying to, configure the web application, right?
Yeah.
Web part. So at last, we have done something like catalog and MongoDB configuration, and lot we came for reverse proxy, right? So that
Yes.
can you explain that part along the last step? Yeah, here we have added our local host.
Yeah,
Replacement.
I explained multiple times. So this is where you have to keep when your application, your web is getting the request. It is the front point for everything. So when there is a request of like this /API and /catalog, you should send that request to catalog. So that is why we are keeping the configuration here. So if your Nginx web server get the request like this, then it will send the request to the catalog server IP address.
Is it something like clients? Like we are installing client inside something you mentioned, right? That point.
No. So this is very simple. Nginx is working as reverse proxy is just because of this one. It is able to get the request and it is able to forward the request to the other. So what is proxy? The meaning of proxy is on behalf of you. Okay. So on behalf of catalog, web is accepting the request and it is forwarding, but no one knows catalog. You know proxy, we know it very well, even in interviews. So does interviewer know who is doing the real interview? No. So user know who is getting the actually where it is sending the request. User know.
Yeah.
You don't know. So web is doing that proxy kind of thing. So that is hidden from the user.
Okay. Yeah. Understood. Thank you.
Aravind?
Shiva.
Yeah, hi.
I have a couple of questions. Okay, first thing is, why do we use systemctl daemon reload, and when we use systemctl restart? So both are like, what is the difference? Both we use for the same purpose, right?
No, so systemctl daemon reload means it will check again in the systemd directory. So we have something. You are creating a new configuration in systemd directory, right?
Okay.
So Linux, when starting, it will load all the services there. But now you have created the new service. So that is why you need to give the daemon reload. Then it will fetch the new things again and it will keep it inside systemctl. If you don't run this, then this will not work.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Then so what is this? Why do we call all this called as a repos? So as per my understanding, repos is nothing but packages and dependencies, right?
Yeah, repo is nothing but holding something. So this is where all the Redis packages are available. Okay, or Redis or MongoDB. So MongoDB has some list of softwares. So MongoDB created one repository in internet and then they kept all the packages there.
Okay.
Okay. So this is where they have kept all the packages. You can see this. So here we have all the packages available. If you're going for yum, you have here Red Hat, and then here you can find all the MongoDB server packages. So from here, if you want to download automatically and install, that is what we are configuring there. You can see all the RPMs. So you are configuring this URL there. Then your M will automatically fetch the packages.
Okay. Yeah, got it. Thank you.
Most welcome. Sheikh Ahmed.
Yeah, hi Shiva, good morning.
Yeah, hi, good morning.
Yeah, while creating service and shipping, so there it mentioned like we need to provide two IPs, right?
Dual IPs. What is the dual?
Two IPs.
You mean inside shipping?
Okay, here only card service IP address we have to provide.
Yeah.
And also MySQL server IP address also, right?
Yes.
This one, the second one we didn't done. So that's what I'm asking. We need to do it later.
Oh, maybe I forgot. This one card IP address, is it?
Yes.
Oh, I forgot it.
Okay.
Yeah, you need to give the IP address also. Because without cart, we cannot go for shipping, right? That is the dependency.
Okay. Okay, yeah. Got it. So I thought the error was coming due to that, but this is a MongoDB error. Okay.
Yeah, it is done. This will take time. Already we are crossed. We will do it on Monday, but you guys, you can always refer the document, exactly perform the same steps. Definitely you can configure the RoboShop completely. Okay. Yeah, that's all for today. Then we have one more question from Swami. Yeah, hi Swami.
Yeah, hi Shiva.
Yeah, hi.
Yeah, till now we didn't use application server, right? So that have we deployed in web application only? Have we deployed in Nginx only, this application?
Now you can see, now all backend technologies are coming up with inbuilt servers.
Mhm.
So you don't need to install any application server.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Can you elaborate something?
I mean, earlier you have to install a server like Tomcat, JBoss in olden days. Now every programming language is coming up with its own server. No need to do anything. It's all already there inbuilt.
Mhm.
Okay.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. Thank you.
Most welcome. So just read this documentation properly. Just don't. So when I'm writing something here, it means you should, you guys should read. Okay. So we have clear-cut description everywhere here. So maybe, so we are not reading nowadays, we are just watching the videos, but it is always good. Even I don't read much, but it is always good to read. Okay. So just go through this. We have the clear-cut description here and then follow the documentation. You can do this by this weekend. Okay. Thank you so much. Always post the queries in Slack. You'll get the immediate response. Have a nice weekend. Bye-bye. See you.
Thank you. Thank you, Shiva.
Most welcome. Bye-bye.